In this video, we'll talk through configuring encryption for Amazon Elastic Block Store. First, let's bring up our technology stack diagram here for just a minute and describe where this encryption is happening within our technology stack. This is happening here at the hypervisor level, so it's beneath our operating system, meaning everything above the point of encryption sees unencrypted data. Now, if that is okay for your encryption use, then EBS encryption is a fine place to apply encryption. Other places you might consider based on risk is up here at our application, within our database, maybe being performed by our operating system directly. But those are considerations to be made, by our architects. A couple of points to make about EBS encryption before we actually show how to do this. You can only do this at the time when you create the volume. Here we see that here in the documentation. If you're going to apply this retroactively to an existing system, you have to take a snapshot and then create a new volume from the snapshot, encrypting that volume and attaching it to the instance. The other thing here is that this will use a key out of AWS KMS. The way that key is actually used is EBS will, the EBS encryption will create a volume key per the documentation. And that volume key is used to encrypt the data. And then the KMS key is actually used to encrypt the volume key. And that is just about the way all the KMS usage, whether it's in S3, RDS, or wherever, all the different ways in which KMS is used by various Amazon services, that's consistent with that. All right, so let's go to our dashboard. And we will demonstrate setting this up for a new system. So let's go ahead and launch an instance. And we will make this an Ubuntu instance, and we're just going to make it all, do it all on the free tier, configure the instance details, and we're going to leave that page alone. Here on our storage page, we'll set our size and the type of hardware to back that up. And then here we will establish our encryption. You see here that we have a AWS EBS key. This is an Amazon managed key. It does show up in our KMS console, but there's not a lot that we can do with it because it is one that is managed directly by Amazon. And then we have a couple other keys that we could also choose. We're just going to go ahead and take the AWS EBS key. And then let's go ahead and add a tag, name, encrypted, if I could only spell, instance. Okay. Configure our security group because the default security group, good security practice, a default security group has no access. So we're going to set this up to use our already existing SSH security group. Review this, that all looks great, and we will go ahead and launch. Need to specify my key to use, and now the instance will be launched. And let's view our instances, and sure enough, we have our encrypted instance, and if we take a look at storage, we will see that this volume is indeed encrypted. Now, there is also a way to set that up as a default so that all volumes so that all EC2 instances that are created with the encryption option enabled. To do that, on our EC2 console dashboard, we'll go to the account attributes and we will click on EBS encryption. And then we will enable that and specify the key that we want to use, in which case it's going to be our AWS EBS key, and update those settings. And now from this point forward, all EC2 instances that we use, that we create, will use those EC2 settings. So that concludes this video, and if you have any questions, of course, on anything related to AWS security, feel free to reach out to anybody here at Kirkpatrick Price.